Hi, Jim. This is Dean from the Upper Midwest. My question is regarding retirement withdrawal strategy. I am thinking down the road a bit. First, let me give you an idea of my financial context. I am 47 years old and I project that I will retire in 10 or so years. My portfolio will be approximately two-thirds taxable, 20 to 25% tax deferred, which is currently a cash balance plan, 10 to 15% in Roth IRA slash HSA. I would presumably roll my cash balance plan over into a traditional IRA upon retirement. So I have read a little about withdrawal strategies and want to get your thoughts. I have read about two similar yet differing strategies. First, beginning at age 59 and a half years old and after retirement, I would withdraw enough from the tax deferred account to fill up the lower tax brackets to use for spending. Next, I would dip into the taxable account. Second, similarly, beginning at age 59 and a half and after retirement, I would withdraw enough from the tax deferred account to fill up the lower tax brackets, but then convert that money to a Roth IRA. So spending would come from the taxable account bracket solely. Both are similar with the goal of trying to minimize the required minimal distribution by 70 and a half, but differing approaches as to what to do with that money. Do you agree with one of these approaches, or are there any other thoughts or approaches that you would recommend? Thank you so much for all that you do.
Okay, lots of complexity in this question, actually. Dean's got two-thirds of his money in taxable, about 20% in tax deferred, and 10 or 15% in a Roth or a tax-free account. Plans to retire at 57. He's trying to decide between two strategies. But in reality, there's two questions mixed together here. The first question is, should Dean do Roth conversions? And the answer to that is almost certainly yes. This is someone that's retiring at 57, won't have to start taking Social Security until 70, I guess it would be. And so that gives you 13 years to do Roth conversions. With somebody with a big, huge taxable account and a relatively small Roth account, that wouldn't be a bad idea to convert some of that tax-deferred money to a Roth account. Now, the idea is you go along through the years that you just convert the amount that takes you up to the top of the next tax bracket. So if you find yourself in the, 24% tax bracket, you would only do enough conversions that it would take you up to the top of the 24% tax bracket each year. So that's probably going to be a good idea for you to do Roth conversions. The other question is, well, how should you spend the money? How should you pull the money out? And there's a few general principles here with lots of exceptions to them. As a general rule, you want to spend taxable money before tax-protected money. Okay? And so you really got to keep in mind those benefits of retirement accounts, right? They protect your money from taxes as it grows. You don't have to pay taxes on dividends, capital gains, any other type of distributions as it grows. You only have to pay money when you take money, or only have to pay taxes when you take money out of the account. So keep that in mind. As a general rule, if you'll spend taxable first and then get into your tax-protected accounts, you will end up with more money. Also, as a general rule, you only want to use tax-deferred money up to the top of the nearest bracket. And then if you need more money above and beyond that, you take from your tax-free or Roth accounts. And the idea between that is you can mix and match there enough and essentially set your tax rate, set your tax bill in retirement. But when you have all three types of accounts, you've got a lot of flexibility in choosing how exactly you're going to withdraw from those accounts. And you can essentially, if you want to have lower taxes one year than another, you probably can. Keep in mind as you start spending a taxable account that you want to generally spend the high basis assets first, the stuff that doesn't have much of a tax bill. For example, if you bought stuff at a share price of 100 and you're selling it at a share price of 110, you only have to pay long-term capital gains taxes on $10 a share. The rest of it comes out totally tax-free. But if you have low basis shares, you paid $10 per share and now it's worth $100 a share, that is going to cost you a lot more in taxes. So if you're planning on leaving money to charity or leaving money to your heirs who would get a step up in basis at your death, you may not want to sell those low basis shares. That may be a reason to instead use retirement account money instead of taxable money. So like I said, lots of exceptions there. Especially if you're in poor health, you're in your last few years of life, this is not a great time to be selling low cost basis shares. Take advantage of that step up in basis at death and just spend from your retirement accounts in that situation. But most of the time, your heirs would love to have a stretch Roth IRA left to them. That's even better than a taxable account, even with the update in basis. So lots to talk about there as far as retirement strategies, but the key is to individualize it. Look at your tax bill, look at where you expect it to be throughout retirement, where it is during the accumulation phase, and then you can make some smart decisions about how to use your taxable, tax-deferred, and tax-free money to lower your overall tax rate for you and your heirs throughout retirement. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.